Students, welcome back to Economics. It's Vamosi coming back at you again. And today we are going to be talking about incentives, or one of the major drivers of what cause and determine economic activity. And hopefully after today, you'll be able to identify several different types of incentives, especially as you can apply them to your own lives. What motivates you and why do they motivate you? And so today we're going to be working out of our lesson called Incentives. And the directions read, here are our plans for today. Highlighted text indicates that you need to write and submit information to this assignment. Ensure you've completed all requirements in the what to submit section near the bottom. Participation will be rewarded for participating in class discussion if we end up somehow working on this as a class on one of our meeting days. So step one, I want you to analyze and think about these pictures. So this first one, we see a dude here. He's like sweating pretty hard. I don't know why he's exercising in a suit, but he is. He's on a treadmill and he's really trying to get to this big carrot, right? So we have the incentive here, which is the carrot, and this guy is willing to work for it. It's kind of like the prize in front of him. So close yet so far. And so that would be an example of a positive incentive. There are two types, really, positive and negative, but you could also argue that they're neutral incentives as well. And the incentives themselves are just motivation to want to do something, or motivation against doing something. In this circumstance, since it's a positive incentive, it's a motivation to want to get that carrot. On the other hand, there are negative incentives as well, too. You have this police officer here. He's writing this guy who looks super disgruntled. He looks like he's writing him a speed ticket. And now we usually don't think of negative incentives as incentives, but they really reinforce people to not want to do certain actions. So think about it both ways, positive and negative. These are both types of incentives to really influence a person's overall actions. And to give you a good idea of how you're identifying these certain types of incentives, in step 2, it says to complete incentives in OneNote and then notify me via submission once you've completed the assignment. So if we go over to OneNote, and it's just called incentives, and the directions read, complete the following chart. An example is provided for you, and then notify me via submission in Canvas once you're complete. And we'll just do the first one together as an example. So the first category, we have the economic incentive, which is a bunch of different examples here. Who's offering the incentive, positive or negative? The purpose of it, and then would this incentive influence your behavior? Explain. So the first example we have is a late fee for returning the books to the library. So the person or institution offering this would be the library. A late fee, think of that kind of like a speeding ticket. So that way it would be a negative incentive because you're not really getting something for it. Something might be taken away from you for it. The purpose of the incentive, why would they institute this? To make sure people return their books, right? Or else if a library isn't able to get their books back, that could be a problem, right? And then would this incentive influence your behavior? For me, yes. If you go to a library, you don't return a book. I just feel bad, right? Like these libraries are still trying to survive. We don't have as many of them today. So yes, it would influence my behavior. I don't want to take money or books away from a library. I don't want to take resources away from the library. And I don't want to lose money if I don't have to. If I don't have to. So you just do that with the rest of these examples. Pretty straightforward in terms of what I'm asking you to do. And to notify me via submission in Canvas to the original assignment once that is complete. And in step 3, answer this prompt. Think of and explain an economic incentive that could help our community. This could be like a local law, a local ordinance, a community rule, or you could even think of at CBA, right? Positive incentives should encourage behavior, while negative incentives discourage behavior. Your response must identify an incentive for the Virginia Beach community, identify if the incentive is positive or negative, and explain how the incentive would help our community. So take a few minutes, think about what types of incentives would work in our community and how you can apply that to what you have already seen. Then what you submit is notify me once the OneNote assignment is complete, and then answer the prompt in step 3. And I hope this video has helped you all out. If there's anything I can do, please feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.